Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Suyata. It's a kit in 1/48 scale, and it copies quite an interesting combo, I would say, because we get a T-90A main battle tank together with a Tiger GAZ-233014 armored vehicle, obviously, and both are coming in 1/48 scale, so it might be an interesting choice for modders who would like to save some space, or maybe they would like to use it with aircraft diorama, or maybe they have some figures in this scale. There are a lot of possibilities, but obviously this build will be smaller in size in comparison with a traditional 1/35 scale kit, and that's why I decided to take a closer look with you. And you can see that we have a really nice box art here. You can see comparison with my hand right now. It's not a huge box, but it's quite hefty, I would say, and I guess parts are quite, I would say, thick. Here we have some of the marking options for the tank, so there are 5 markings included into this kit, and on the opposite side you can get a look at 4 marking options for this Tiger vehicle, which is, I would say, somewhat universal type, so that you can try it on several, let's say, battlefields which where this vehicle was used. So this is a top opening box, and inside we get all the sprues packed into separate plastic bags, as you can see. So we are going to open them one by one and check what is actually supplied in these plastic bags. First of all, we have here, for example, hull parts from the tank. And what is interesting is that all the parts are resealable. I mean, all the plastic bags, which is rather unusual. We are used to see such things, let's say, coming sealed in a plastic bag, but not here, which is really good because it will be handy for storing your parts, and you don't have to worry that some plastic bags might just tear apart and then you will have to store it somewhere else. So here we start with the lower hull section. As you can see, it comes as a single piece part, and it looks quite good. It comes out of this sand colored plastic. Obviously all suspension parts are molded separately, but molding quality looks really good. Next we continue with the top hull section, which is molded together with the side skirts. Here you can see them from the side, and also we have various minor elements pre-molded, so be careful while working with all this stuff. And obviously this is not an interior kit, so there is nothing inside, but that's something what is not that surprising in my opinion, and I think we can all, let's say, live with it because it's a 1/48 scale kit. I would be really surprised if somebody would expect interior parts, even though, I mean, in all fairness, there were some kits in 1/48 scale which featured interior, but, well, not today. Next we continue with the clear parts. So here we have all clear parts, as far as you can see, both for Tiger and also for this tank. And in my opinion, this is a really nice molding quality. I'm not sure if masks are included, so we will have to check. I guess they are not included because usually Suyata was not including such stuff, but we will see. Maybe there will be some templates. Next we continue with 2 identical plastic sprues, so I will show you only one. Maybe we can zoom out a bit, and you can see that here we have all suspension parts and road wheels for this Tiger vehicle. It's really cool that we have a separate wheel rims, not cool that we have the vinyl tires. Here you have to live with it and be ready to work around it. Maybe you'll find some, let's say, dust pigments which will come handy, or maybe you'll find an aftermarket upgrade which will be also useful in order to get a nice appearance on your model. Next we continue with a smaller plastic part. This is a turret, and as you can see, it is also molded as a single piece part. Of course we will have to add separate sections here and there. All hatches are molded separately. Here you can take a look inside, and in my opinion it looks perfect, so it's just a matter of careful assembly together. Next I'm opening another plastic bag, so just give me a second to do it, and then we will take a closer look together. So here we have already a bit bigger plastic sprue, and I see some interesting parts here. So I'm not sure if the, let's say, interior under the bonnet will be copied here, but I can see that we have some engine parts, I can see also some interior elements, and I guess it's worth zooming in so that you can take a closer look, because for example we have a steering wheel, we also have some parts here and there, and in my opinion molding quality looks fine, so it's just a matter of careful separation of all these parts. And if I flip it over here, you can check some of them from the opposite side, so even the tiniest parts, they're carefully molded, so there is nothing to worry about. The only thing which you maybe have to worry about is how to carefully assemble all this stuff together. Next we continue with another plastic sprue. This one is designed for use with a Tiger, so maybe we will not zoom out so that you can check everything closer straight away. So here we have, for example, front mask, which is molded together with the front grille. We also have some parts for the windscreen, also for the front guard, and here you can see, for example, dashboard with some nice pre-molded details. Note that drivetrain comes as a one-piece part, which is rather surprising, I would say. It should make the whole assembly a bit easier. Here we continue with the separate doors, which are also handy in case you would like to use it for your diorama ideas. And note that all doors are separate actually, and inside we don't have a lot of features, so there is nothing to discuss. But well, what can you expect from such type of vehicle? Next we continue with another plastic sprue for the Tiger. So I'll remove this plastic sprue and take the next one. So here we have car body panels, and as you can see, for example, this is a floor panel which is molded together with the wheel arches, obviously. Next we continue with side armor panels, and note that, as I said before, all doors are molded separately and they can be opened on the finished vehicle. Next we continue with various minor elements. For example, this is a center console for the interior, this is a rear section, here we have a bonnet, and here we have the main, let's say, plate with, as you can see, some suspension arms and other elements which will be used for the suspension. But overall it looks quite impressive. Let's not forget about the size of this model. And now I'm opening another plastic bag, so just give me a second. Okay, let's move this one aside. Take another plastic sprue. So here we continue with parts for the tank. These are turret parts, and you can see the main barrel, it comes as a single piece part. I guess we should zoom in again so that you can check over this stuff a bit closer, but in my opinion it looks really good, and all previous Suyata releases, they were also nice, so there is no surprise in that. As you can see, even the tiniest elements are carefully molded, and here you can see comparison with my finger, so that it gives you at least some idea on how these parts are tiny. Next, I'm opening another plastic bag with more parts for the tank. I guess tank will be, let's say, slightly more detailed in comparison with the Tiger, but I wouldn't say that Tiger is not that much detailed, so don't worry about it. And here you can see, for example, we have glacis plates, we also have rear log, we have the self-entrenching device here, we have all the minor elements, and I guess again we can zoom in so that you can take a closer look. So everything looks cool. I really like the level of quality of pre-molded details, and this is really impressive, so it's just a matter of maybe bringing them out with some painting techniques, because it would be a shame to miss such opportunity. But other than that, I don't see any possible issues here. Next we continue with two identical plastic sprues. So I'm going to open the bag and take one because they're absolutely identical. So just give me a moment. I'll pick one. Okay. Here we have all the drivetrain parts for the tank, and you can see that we get plastic tracks, which is really good because it will be easier to install on the model. As you can see, these are actually track length, so that's why you don't have to be worried about any unnecessary actions with the separate track links. And of course, such stuff is easier to paint and weather. And by the way, to give you an idea on how detailed they are. Here you can take a closer look at the road views and tracks. Everything looks quite impressive, so it's really good thing to get out of the box. A lot of guiding elements and positioning elements, so that's also handy. And as for the rubber wheels or vinyl wheels for the Tigers, here is the tire. So now you can see it, really nice features on the tire walls. Tire pattern also looks good. But overall, as I said, if you have a chance to replace it with the maybe resin upgrade, definitely go for it, because it will give you a better looking result, and even in this scale it will be a noticeable thing. Next, I'm opening another plastic bag, because here we have assembly manual hidden in the plastic bag together with decals, and I can see some minor bonuses there as well, so we will check them in a second. Let's move aside this sprue. So here we get a length of metal wire, which will be obviously used for the towing cable, and that's really good thing because it will help you achieve a bit better looking appearance of your model. It's not pre-molded completely. Next we continue with decals. So for the decals, I don't see the mention where they were printed, but as you can see, printing quality is really good, so it's just a matter of careful application on your model and you'll be good to go. And all these stripes look nice as well. Next we continue with assembly manual. So this one comes in form of, I would say, album more or less. As you can see, it's a horizontal layout, but it looks really nice. It copies the box art which we saw in the beginning. Here we continue with some explanation of the science and on instructions on how to use the decals. That's the parts map, and I can see that parts map does not mention which parts are not used, which is really strange. I wonder why manufacturers keep missing such opportunity. Assembly process starts with the lower hull section of the tank and torsion bars. Here we continue with road wheels and drive sprockets and tracks. And for this assembly sequence, I would recommend to think it through, because obviously it will be important to decide on how you would like to paint the whole model. Next we work on the top hull section, so there are a lot of stuff to install here and there. As you can see, upper hull parts assembly and attaching hull to the lower section. Next we continue with the rear parts and also fuel tanks, turret, and of course turret is also nicely detailed. You can position some hatches in an open version, but I wonder why manufacturer does not show such possibility. So here we have some final steps. It's installing the main barrel and turret into the place. And next we start with the Tiger, as far as you can see. So everything starts with the chassis and suspension. Next we continue with the floor panel and connecting the chassis together. Then we have road wheels assembly, front mask, and what is next? Here we work on some interior parts. And there are actually a lot of stuff to install inside, which is rather surprising for a 1/48 scale vehicle. And then we start working on the hull. Here you can see, so it's a matter of assembling all these separate panels together. Quite a tricky stuff, because it will require checking the alignment every time you try to install this or that side. But from the other point of view, I mean, that's quite logical design, so just be careful and you'll be fine. As we saw, there are guiding elements, there are plenty of them, so it should be relatively easy to do all this stuff. And again, even the rear doors, you can see that there is no assembly option with open doors, so you will have to think it through. And next we continue with 3 marking options for the tank. These ones are mostly dark options, and here we continue with 2 more camouflage tanks. These are 2 Tigers and 2 more here, again camouflaged vehicles. So, and that's all, yeah. All in all, we have quite an interesting release. It should be already available, and I would like to say separate thank you to you, because you helped me with your donations get this kit and review it right now. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such release. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.